In today's video, I'm going to take you guys on a journey starring Bobby Boucher Jr., the current water boy for the Louisiana Cougars, coached by Red Bayou. And for years, Bobby has been getting bullied and tormented by the star players.
Not exactly what I'd call constructive criticism, but...
With Bobby becoming a distraction, Coach Red has finally had enough.
You're fired! Okay.
After getting kicked off the team, Bobby is going to join the losing rivals led by despairing Coach Klein. Still going through persistent hazing and bullying, this practice pushed limits, and finally something made the water boy snap.
Stop making fun of me.
After that huge hit, Coach Klein has no option but to take notice and put Bobby Boucher on the football field, and this is where our story begins.
That's what I call high-quality H2O.
Now let's get into our career as the water boy in Road to Glory College Football 25. Starting off as a 79 overall, playing as a pass coverage middle linebacker, and when it comes to choosing a team, of course Bobby wanted to stay close to home, and because of the colors, we chose to play for the Florida Gators, even though we're going to be playing second string as a backup. After committing, and shortly after entering week 1, we're going to get a text from our defensive coordinator. The text is going to remind Bobby that if he wants to become a starter on this team, then we're going to have to show up in practice as well as in game. Hitting the practice field now to impress the coaches, and we got to keep this running back from getting at least 3 yards, and Bobby is going to impress the coaches right away after getting gold with 30 seconds still remaining. Ending with 65,000, and that is barely going to get us any of the coaches' trust, with still a long road before we get a position battle against MLB 1. Funny enough, he reaches out, letting us know we're not taking his job anytime soon, and not allowing himself to be bullied, Bobby snaps back. Before starting our first game, we're going to hit the weekly agenda to study, but more importantly, we train so we can increase our speed on the field. Game 1 is going to be home against Miami, and we're going to be playing as the backup, barely seeing the field. And in the second quarter, we're going to get our first tackle that leads to a 70-yard TD, putting us in the lead 14-7. Back on defense, trying to keep them from scoring, and a dropped pass down the middle holds them to 3 points. And before ending the first half, it's going to be Bobby locking down the tight end and getting a huge interception in the end zone.
Yeah. AME. Fast Track Studios. Recording live. Yup.
Moving into the fourth quarter, we give up a massive touchdown in the red zone, but quickly offense is going to come right back and get a 17-yard touchdown of their own to tie the game in the dying minutes. With only a minute left, we try keeping them from scoring, and here they're going to get a big gain with another chance in field goal range, but somehow Miami can't tie it up, and somehow they're going to send this one to overtime, and eventually we're going to get a win, and after a 17-yard reception, we get the dub here over Miami, 27-21. Bobby Boucher starting off the season hot after that interception, but still having to fulfill the duties as a freshman, we decide to ignore Karen after taking way too long to send a text. We get into week number 2, and we're going to be facing one of the worst teams in the conference. Making our way back into the swamp, we're going to be playing the Southeast Pandas. Surely their quarterback is affected by the stadium pulse, and pressure at every angle leads to a sack. Now leading by 10, and it's Bobby that misses an easy tackle, allowing the first down and minimal playing time this game. We're not going to see the field again until the fourth quarter. With the game basically being over, after this safety, our defense gets their first shutout win of the year over the Pandas 26-0. Bobby is getting closer and closer now to becoming a starting player, but with the minutes we've been getting, we have to start making more plays if we have plans on starting before midterms. Finishing up in the weekly agenda, we're going to spend all of our skill points, and now we're moving into our next game at the Ben Hill Griffin Stadium with another home game against Texas A&M. Starting this one off, we have some wear and tear from practice, but here in the second quarter, Bobby's going to miss a huge tackle, giving Texas another opportunity in the red zone. Still, we obviously haven't built the coach's trust if we're only getting to play in the dying minutes of these games. After another touchdown there, we have no chance at coming back, still no touchdown, and the clock is going to run out, and we're going to take our first loss against Texas, finishing with the final of 34-17. After that terrible performance by Bobby Boucher, he's going to make sure he comes back and recovers, and he's going to prepare for his upcoming exam. And now we're hitting the practice field to try and force a position battle, and here hoping that Coach Klein notices Bobby's efforts off the field. Our speed is way too slow, so we're going to need an upgrade there, but we come away with 4,600 points and a silver coin, moving us a little closer to that position battle. Only a few games away until we can prove ourselves. Next up, we're playing Mississippi State at the Davis-Wade Stadium, and we're going to be entering this game in the lead by 1 score, and Bobby and the defense make a few tackles here, and we're going to keep them from getting into the end zone and hold them to only a field goal. Our team is looking to bounce back after that last loss, but so far things aren't looking so good, and Mississippi State is easily moving the ball down the field, and after a big pass in the red zone, they're going to tie this game up, but not before our offense gets another touchdown on the board, making it 17-10. Now in the fourth, with only 15 seconds remaining, we're going to try to hold them and keep them out of the end zone, and that's exactly what we're going to do, and we get a tough win late here in the fourth quarter. Bobby has been doing absolutely everything off the field to become a starter, but unfortunately hasn't been able to perform in game, and after spending too much time training, we're going to start the next one playing the game with a high risk of injury. Skipping practice probably not a good idea, but we're playing UCF in a conference matchup, and hopefully we're going to be getting some playing time in the first quarter. Here we're going to come away with a massive tackle, but after this massive tackle and another one from our teammate, we're not going to see the field again until the second half of this game. Simulating to the second half, finally back on the field as a backup, and Bobby is absolutely flying all over the field, making plays and making big tackles, but the UCF quarterback is just absolutely picking our defense apart and making huge plays. We just cannot stop him, and our defense is getting humiliated. And now, late in the fourth, 2nd and 9, they get another big first down that's allowed by Bobby Boucher, and we're going to go ahead and just simulate through the fourth quarter, and they somehow get 2 more touchdowns, ending this one 24-13, and now our record is 3-2, and more time is definitely needed practicing if we're looking to make it into the CFB playoffs. On to some more chase and tackle, and we're doing whatever we can to become a starter, and we're only a few games away, and a result of 95,000 in chase and tackle should definitely help the process. Getting right into our next game, we're going to be playing Tennessee at the Neyland Stadium, and we cannot take another loss this year, but fortunately, we're going to be entering this game already leading by 2 scores, and Bobby, of course, is still missing easy tackles. Thank God our senior cornerback comes away with an interception here, and that should definitely seal this game off. In the fourth quarter of this game now, and Tennessee with absolutely no chance of a comeback, they're going to end up fumbling the ball, and that ends this game with a final of 35-6. Bobby is making his way up now, almost becoming a starter, but he forgets all about the finals and now putting a dent into his grades and his GPA, but somehow he's still going to be able to play. Bobby is starting to take his academics and recovery seriously, and that's going to be crucial for our next home game. And after we get through our weekly agenda, we're jumping straight into the game, and it's going to be against Kentucky. We got a big conference matchup at home, looking to keep our winning streak alive, and this one we're going to be leading on early, and our defense is going to continue having success when blitzing. So Bobby is going to keep getting close for that sack, but we still haven't got a sack so far this year. Entering the second half, we're up 24-7, and it's going to be another blitz that gets through, but this time causing a fumble, and it being in the red zone, that's going to give our offense another easy touchdown. Two blowout games in a row and not giving up more than one touchdown, our defense is definitely making a statement. After another win, we have finally activated a position battle for MLB 1, and it's going to be against Sherman James. And if we want a new positional rank, then we need to win at least 2 of 3 of these drills. On to the reactions test, and here we're going to be just fast enough to earn a silver, and that's going to be 1 out of 3 on the drills, and so far so good. Next we're going to be doing the gap drill, and that's going to be testing our defense in the trenches. Bobby comes in clutch last second on the last attempt, and that's going to earn him a bronze and beat Shamar's score of 2,500. The last drill is the footwork drill, and we already have the battle won. The first 2 drills were easy, but Bobby's still going to play hard here. In the last drill, we're going to earn another bronze, and that's going to win us all 3 drills. With those drills won, that's now going to make us the starting middle linebacker, and now we're going to look at our stats so far this season as a backup. So far, we only had 9 tackles and 1 interception so far this season, but hopefully these numbers improve as a starter. This is going to be Bobby's first game starting, and of course it's an away game, and we're playing Georgia at the Everbank Stadium. Georgia starting off the game by running the ball, and now we're going to swallow it up right down the right, and that's going to be good enough for a 2nd and 9. And on the very next play, he has nobody to pass to, and that's going to be an easy sack from our defensive end. And now we're going to do another blitz on the field since they can't stop it, and that's going to be 2 sacks and a field goal. Now we're up by 3, and we're looking to blitz again on a 3rd and 11. And now, once again, our defensive end gets through for the 4th sack already in the first quarter. We get back in the game, now in the second quarter, almost getting a sack, but the pressure right there is going to make the QB throw a pick, and our offense is going to capitalize down the field with another 3 points. We're moving into the 4th, leading 13-7, and now with 3 minutes left of this game, Bobby cannot give up any more first downs. After a 2nd and 2, we're going to keep them from scoring range, and after holding them in the middle of the field for so long, they have another chance here for a first down, but not able to complete a pass or get a run. More pressure now here on the quarterback, and now with all these sacks and all these blitzes, we come up here with another sack, ending this game 16-14. Bobby keeping that winning streak alive as a starter, and finally we activate fan favorite, and our streak has moved us higher into the top 25, now being ranked 15th with a 6-2 record. We still have a chance to get invited to the playoffs, but we cannot take another loss, and we're getting tested this week by playing the Texas Longhorns at the Texas Memorial Stadium. The Longhorns coming in at 7-1. In the very first play, we almost get an insane pick down the middle of the field, but it ends up being a completion, and Texas with no issues moving the ball down the field. The Longhorns are going to score first, but our offense comes right back with the touchdown, and we're still down here by 1 score. And now in the red zone, Bobby audibles to a blitz, and it doesn't stop Texas from getting a rushing touchdown, putting them up 21-10. Only 18 seconds left before halftime, and we're going to hold them off here to a 2nd and 11, sending us into the 3rd quarter. Looking for a comeback after forcing Texas to punt, but our offense isn't able to produce any points at all. Headed into the last quarter with 2 minutes left, we're going to spam the blitz and hold the offense to a 4th and goal. With the clock running out, We're not going to have enough time to catch up, and it's Texas that spoil our winning streak and finish this game 24-17. Player of the game is going to go to Ewers after throwing 247 yards and getting 2 touchdowns. Even though we lost, we still upgraded our fan favorite to silver. And before we get into week number 11, we're going to get into the weekly agenda, making sure we're recovered and ready for the finals coming up in 3 weeks. Our next game is going to be against the LSU Tigers, coming in with a record of 5-4. We start this game already leading by 7, and defense here is going to give up a first down, and offense trying to run the ball now on the next play is going to get blown up by Bobby with a huge tackle. We get an injury timeout, and it's our fellow middle linebacker, Shamar James, that gets injured here in the first quarter. Even without Shamar in the field, we're still able to hold LSU to a 4th and 5. With the whole team playing great defense, we're headed into the second quarter up by 2 scores. Somehow, after giving up a play in the red zone, the Tigers end up scoring 3 touchdowns this quarter, giving them a chance to catch up and win. Bobby's going to decide to audible here on a 3rd and 8 that leads to a massive sack to put us in the lead by 10 points. On this play, Bobby's going to break free and track the running back down and keep LSU from scoring in the 3rd quarter. Still in the lead going into the last quarter of the game, and defense gives up another big run, putting them in 1st and goal territory, but with some luck, they somehow don't end up scoring, and we're going to come away with this win, and it's a final of 31-21. All the time Bobby spent studying pays off with a small GPA bump, giving him a chance to focus on training and recovery. We're going to skip practice and get straight into our next game against Ole Miss with another conference matchup, and this is going to be a home game at the Swamp. Getting into the first defensive possession, and after the offense scored, giving us a 1-score lead, we're going to start here on defense with a massive sack, and then we're going to give up the first down right after that. Giving up that first down near the 40, Ole Miss looked to take it all the way in for the tying touchdown, and now trying to keep them from scoring, we send a blitz with zone coverage downfield to end this quarter and send us into the second half. We're in the 4th quarter of the game, down by a touchdown, and an all-out blitz gets through, and it results in a fumble that gets recovered by number 11 to put our offense in the red zone, and they end up getting a touchdown to put us in the lead by 3 points. With 1 minute left of the game, we get our last stop on defense to finish this game 23-17. It was definitely defense that helped win us that game late in the second half, and we're looking to keep this momentum going into week 13, not wasting any time. We get into an away game versus Florida State. Offense once again scoring on the first drive and getting us the lead, and now on 3rd and 8 our star corner gets a deflection, forcing them to punt. Now up 10-0 after a field goal, and we're going to get another 3rd down stop, giving our offense a chance to score more points. Florida State somehow made a comeback, scoring 2 touchdowns before halftime, and now we're in the 4th quarter leading by only 2 points, and our defense is doing everything they can to keep Florida State from scoring and getting into field goal range. For some reason, they keep running the ball, and after another 3rd down stop, we're going to get the win over Florida State with the final of 16-14. Getting into our last week, week number 14, we get a message here from Karen, and she lets us know that we flunked our final exams, getting 3 Ds and 1 F. The season's now over, and we've been invited to play in the SEC Championship against Texas. Bobby made it into the college football playoffs as a freshman, and with the first round matchup against the Oregon Ducks. First, we're going to have to get through Texas, and they're currently ranked number 7 in the top 25 with a 10-2 record and a 7-1 record in their conference. We're going to start this drive by giving up a run that gets all the way up to the 30-yard line, and this is going to lead to an early touchdown, and this is not what Bobby planned out. So we're going to try a blitz on the very next play, and the quarterback is just going to launch the ball over 60 yards for a touchdown to give them the lead. A beautiful pass right there from Ewers, but our offense is going to bounce back with the tying touchdown. And here early in the second, and a weak run is going to lead to another touchdown, putting the Longhorns up by 1 score going into the second half.
Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl, do you?
Only down by 1 touchdown, we still have a chance to come back, but it all gets ruined here after Ewers makes another perfect throw, and the receiver is going to get all the way to the end zone to give them a comfortable lead. Bobby is still out there getting tackles for loss, but with the game going into the fourth, we just don't have enough time to catch up. 2 minutes remaining and no chance to catch up. Texas are going to score another TD, and it ends this game with the final of 45-30. Once again, Ewers having a perfect game and throwing for 380 yards and 5 touchdowns. The winner of the Heisman was Cameron Rising, quarterback, throwing over 4,000 yards, but more importantly, it's Bobby Boucher getting freshman All-SEC with 14 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 interception. Of course, we get invited to play in the college football playoffs against the number 5 ranked Clemson in the first round.
You off Gallivant with your fancy foosball friends at school?
Well, I like school and I like football.
Obviously, she did not want him to play in this final game, but Bobby's going to do whatever he wants. Getting backed up by Vicky Valancourt, we're going to head into the final game of the season and in the first round of this college football playoffs. Playing at the Clemson Memorial Stadium, we're going to have one of our toughest opponents so far this year ahead of us. Bobby starts off the drive with a big flag right here, and that's going to reset their offense to a first down. Even though we did not start off well, Bobby putting us in a bad position, it's going to be our senior free safety that gets an early interception here in the first. After that pick from Jordan Castell, it's Clemson that somehow gets the touchdown going into the second quarter. Down by 1 score and in the red zone, the Clemson quarterback threads the needle and the receiver runs it all the way in, giving Clemson a 2-score lead. Once again in the red zone, and a pass over the middle is going to make this a 3-score game headed into the second half. With no touchdown scored and time running out, Clemson is going to show absolutely no mercy and score another passing touchdown. We're going to lose in the first round of the college football playoffs, and this one ends with the final of 35-3 against Clemson. After that loss, we're going to be looking to transfer schools next season, and ending this year, we still had a winning record, but we fell short in the bowl weeks, taking losses back to back. Clemson ended up going on and beating Texas and moving on into the semifinal against Notre Dame. They took a L 42-37, and at the end, it was Michigan that came away to win the college football championship. Next season, Bobby is looking to make a change, and he's going to be signing with the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns to stay closer to home.
We live up our day.
The season's now over, and if you like videos like this and want to see more content, then make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.